Well, where's the altcoin season? Has it already happened? Well, obviously not. I mean, Bitcoin dominance, as you can see, is still going up. We just put in another cycle high. We went to about 59.10%. And I believe it's going to continue going up. As you can see, we cooled off on a 4-hour chart. So we will most likely start going up very, very soon. And like I said, we should get to 60% first, and then we should get the altcoin season. Now, we are only like 1% away from 60%, so we could literally do this in October, and we could start the altcoin season in November. But of course, maybe we will not. Maybe we will actually do what we did in the previous cycle. And if we check out what we did in the previous cycle, we had a fake top in November, then we dropped, and this was probably when everyone was freaking out, calling for an altcoin season. We dropped below the bull market support band for 1 day, and then all of a sudden we pumped again in December, and that marked the top of Bitcoin dominance, and then we had the altcoin season. Now, of course, we do not have to do exactly what we did in the previous cycle, because at the end of the day, this is a different cycle, and as you can see in this cycle, we went up in a straight line. In the previous cycle, we did not, so why would we copy what we did in the previous cycle one by one, you know? So yeah, it is possible that we top on the Bitcoin dominance chart very, very soon, but if we do not pop in October, or let's say by the middle of November, which is, in my opinion, already too late, but if we do not top by then we will most likely continue going up until the end of December, like we did in the previous cycle, and then we will get the altcoin season that everyone has been waiting for right now. And of course, we had not had an altcoin season. I mean, if you look at this chart, it only went up in the past 2 years. So of course, there was no altcoin season, and people are still expecting one. And in my opinion, yes, we will get one. I mean, a chart cannot go up forever, and at some point it needs to cool off. And when it does cool off, that's when the altcoin season will actually happen. So we'll see if we actually get to 60%. Now, of course, we could break above the 0.618 extension. Maybe we'll get to 61%. Maybe we'll get to 62%. We don't have to get to exactly 60%. I mean, if you check out what happened in the previous cycle, we did not even go to the 0.618 level. We did not even touch it. So, you know, maybe we'll only go to like 59.5%. But of course, there's also the possibility that we go to like 64%. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Now, if we go on the Bitcoin chart, as you can see, Bitcoin is trying to break out of this sideways price action. And maybe you could say that we already closed a daily wick above this trend line right here. But of course, this is pretty much subjective right now, and you could move it however you wanted to, maybe something like this. So maybe we did not break out of it. Maybe we are still below it. And if we want to actually start being bullish, we need to get above, let's say 70K, which is like 2K away from where we're at right now. And I don't think that's impossible. Now let me talk about the Elliott wave count for a second. So Bitcoin is currently in a 1-2 setup. Well, it was in a 1-2 setup, and it almost invalidated the 1-2 setup right here, but you know, it held support. So theoretically, you could call this a 1-2 setup. However, the first wave only has 3 waves, and you know, it's not the best looking first wave move, but it can be counted as a first wave. Then after that, we had some kind of second wave move down, which was kind of impulsive, but it did hold support levels, so it's fine. It actually held this trend line. And then after that, we got an A-B structure of a third wave right here. And maybe we are actually heading in a C wave of this A-B structure, because as you can see, the B wave held support levels, and we are already above the A wave high, so maybe we are actually heading to 80K, which is the 200% extension of this 1-2 setup right here. Now, what is this 1-2 setup, and what is this third wave move to the upside? Well, this is the third wave of this fifth wave move to the upside, which I believe is the fifth wave of the main third wave move to the upside. So as you can see here, after hitting the bear market low, we went up in a 1-2 setup, and then we formed another 1-2 setup right here. And now, when we went from about 24K to about 72K, we formed the third wave of this 1-2 setup right here, and of this third wave move to the upside. Then the sideways price action was a fourth wave move down, and if it was, then we are most likely heading in a fifth wave right now of the main third wave move to the upside. And that fifth wave could put us at about 100K or so. Then of course we will need a fourth wave move down, and then the fifth wave move up will be the bull market high for this cycle, which I expect to happen in September to October of 2025. Now, why am I telling you this? Well, because right now, if we want an altcoin season, Bitcoin actually needs to break out of this sideways price action and it needs to get to all-time highs and new all-time highs. And maybe it will very, very soon. Maybe we will do it this month or maybe in November. But if we do not, and if we get rejected by the trend line again, I think it's going to be very likely that Bitcoin dominance will go up until December. And then in December, when we break out of this sideways price action, then we top on the Bitcoin dominance chart and then we start the altcoin season. Now, of course, I don't see that happening, to be honest with you, because as we know, Q4 is usually a very bullish month for Bitcoin, so I don't see Bitcoin going sideways for another 2 months, to be honest with you. I mean, if you check out the Bitcoin monthly returns chart, we usually go up in October, November, and December, so yeah, I still expect Bitcoin to get like 100K by the end of the year and then get a correction, which should be the fourth wave move down right here, and then start the fifth wave move up. And when we do start the fifth wave move up, I think that will also trigger the altcoin season. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the Elliott wave chart that I have is wrong. And maybe we'll actually start the altcoin season after we finish this third wave move to the outside right here. And I mean, it could happen. If we do get like 80K, I think that's going to be enough to trigger an altcoin season. But in my opinion, I mean, the most important level to watch right now is 100K. Once we get to 100K, then I think everyone is going to start getting into crypto again. Now, if we talk about something else for a second, I've heard some theories that maybe what we're doing right now is actually only 1-2 setup, and maybe the third wave still has to come, which would be insane because it would mean that we would have to get like 300 to even 400 or 500K in this cycle. So do I think this is a 1-2 setup? Well, I don't know. I mean, you could theoretically call it a 1-2 setup if you wanted to, but, you know, there's no guarantee that it actually is a 1-2 setup. But theoretically, it could work, which would be insane, to be honest with you, and that would honestly be the best case scenario right now. So if we do start the altcoin season in October, then coins like Cardano should finally get a third wave move to the upside. As you can see, Cardano is now in a 1-2 setup and it's holding support levels, but you know, it cannot survive for much longer because we are very close to the invalidation zone. And Cardano is not the only coin in a 1-2 setup. ICP is also in a 1-2 setup. Shiba Inu also needs another pump in the fifth wave move up of this 1-2-3-4 setup. And of course, there are some other altcoins like Polygon, Matic that are just going down, and you know, this will most likely put in another bear market low, and then we will start pumping. If we start pumping after that, we'll have to see. And Near Protocol is another altcoin that needs a third wave. As you can see, it's holding support levels. So the altcoin market, as you can see, is ready for an altcoin season. We just have to wait for Bitcoin right now. I mean, most altcoin, as you can see, even Chainlink is in a second wave move down. Even DOT, well, not really, but you could say that we are still in a 1-2 setup. We did not invalidate the 1-2 setup because we did not get below the bear market low, but we were very close to it. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with this. Dogecoin also needs a third wave, and as you can see, Dogecoin is actually going in a third wave right now, or at least trying to go in a third wave, and it's very close to the 200% extension right there, which means that it's very close to completing a third wave of this 1-2 setup. And yeah, it's looking quite good right now actually. And you know, Dogecoin, I mean, as you know, new coins tend to pump the first, so maybe this is a sign that something more bullish is about to happen to the altcoins. So yeah, we have to wait and see what happens with this. And let's hope Bitcoin dominance actually pops this month, because if it doesn't, then it's most likely going to continue going up until December. Anyways, that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.